This episode is brought to you by Computer Solutions R Us. Phil and his team hooked us up with all of our computers, and you can do the same for you. Head over to Phil at Computer Solutions R Us and tell him Inside the Game sent you. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Game, your one-stop shop for everything cool in video games. I'm one of your hosts, Drew Bosley. Before we get started, don't forget to head to our website, insidethegame.ca, where there you can get caught up on all of our latest content, our weekly podcast, and leave a comment to become a part of the show. Now, coming up on today's episode, we have a jam-packed review episode. 5 Nintendo games, 2 PC titles, one of them actually from Valve. No, it's not Half-Life 3. All that and a whole lot more. First up, let's get with the inside scoop.
Epic Games is looking to give back to their developers. So when a developer puts their game on the Epic Games store, what Epic Games is going to do is allow the developer to take up to 88% of the total revenue generated from the game's sales, and Epic's only going to take 12%, opposed to Steam, which currently now takes 30%, only giving the developers 70%. The Epic Games Store will be releasing on PC and Mac to start, and coming to Android and other open platforms in 2019.
So it looks like the troubles at Starbreeze Studios are definitely continuing. They made the news this week with an unsettling report that apparently their offices had been raided, and this comes after a troubling stock drop of over 80%, and apparently one employee who has not yet been named has been actually arrested under suspicions of insider trading. Which is really too bad because they put out some really great titles like the Payday series and Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
So Rockstar has brought some really great news with Red Dead 2's Online, which has been out for a couple weeks now. They have stated that all your progress that you've worked so hard towards will be saved continuing to the full online release. That is some great news because I know a lot of people that have sunk a ton of time into this, and it would be really rough just to see that all go. So hats off to Rockstar for doing that. Also, some other news from Rockstar is that they are bringing microtransactions just like GTA 5, which is whatever, but... So yeah, that'll be coming when Red Dead's Online is officially launched.
This world has its consolation.
Epic Games is stepping it up once again, bringing Fortnite Creative, allowing us, the gamers, to create our own little island, gameplay, stories, do how you see fit, and invite your friends with early access for those who bring Season 7 into the Battle Pass.
Alright, this week we are hunting the dead to find clues. Alright, Corey, so this week we are talking about Hellsheim from Ballistic Interactive. What did you think?
Interesting game. I've never played a game like this. It's like a investigative RPG style game where you're get to choose between quite a few different styles of characters they give you right off the bat, and yeah, they all have their own kind of special abilities or special gifts that allow them to do things within the game that even though when you start in they kind of just throw you in, you don't realize exactly what you need them for. But the first mission kind of starts you off and you go to meet these guys and they give you a job, and it's to go through this house and investigate a couple, what looks like a double murder or a triple homicide, sorry. There's bodies all over the house. And the style of game is, it looks pretty cool from the top down. I thought it was a pretty cool looking game. I had a tough time with the controls at first. I didn't really know what I was doing. It was hard to navigate myself around the map with where the house was and all that. But once I kind of got used to it, played around with the controls a little bit, they just don't give you much of a tutorial on it. So for me, it was a little difficult to just hop into and know exactly what I was doing. Yeah. But I thought visually the game looked really good, and it kind of starts off and it gives you a few hints on what you need to do. You got to go through the house and find clues about what had happened there, what had transpired. And they're worried about a poltergeist happening during this, and it's nighttime, and you've got a flashlight, there's no power, so it sets this kind of eerie mood while you're in there. You don't really know what you're going to run into. For me, I thought I liked it. I thought it was interesting because I've never played a game like this before, but I also did find it a little difficult to get into. I don't know about you.
Yeah, my initial thoughts and the things I kind of found were it wasn't very intuitive. There wasn't very much of like a sort of like a tutorial, like how to, because like when you had mentioned, like you have to find these two guys. We don't exactly know what you're doing. Like they give you this sort of like haunting image / string at the beginning of the game, so you're like, okay, this is gonna be kind of like in the horror genre.
Yeah, it was like a comic book style. It was kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, it was a cool opening. And then you go meet these guys. You find out that you're like an agent who's been hired to look through this house, and but I found it not very intuitive because like I didn't know what I was looking for in the house initially.
No.
So I go in the house and I'm like, okay, so it's obviously a murder scene. Like there's blood and there's bodies. I'm like, typical CSI crap, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, so what do I have to do? And I got stuck in this one part where like I'm using my flashlight and looking for clues. The sync keeps popping up saying you have to find more.
Yeah.
And I've scoured the whole house. I'm like, I don't know what else I'm supposed to look for. And I go outside to find the body that's outside
yes.
farther over. And then still nothing. So I was kind of like, okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like,
but the thing is with this game is it's all just furniture and stuff on the walls and things that I think are throughout the rest of the game, and they don't differentiate. You can't physically see the clue you're looking for.
No, you can't.
So you end up clicking on everything around, and the animation for that I thought was very repetitive. Your guy crouches down and he, the same kind of blurbs pop up around his head, and then you click on the couch, and then you walk over here and you click on that book on the floor, and then that picture on the wall. I don't know exactly where the clue is. I'm just clicking on things until it pops up on the screen and says, you've got it.
Yeah.
So for me, that was kind of like, I don't want to play a game where I'm just clicking on everything all the time to achieve what I'm looking for.
No.
There was some difficult parts with it when it came to not knowing exactly what to do. So you end up feeling like you're walking around the house in this area and you're clicking on all the same things. But then I was getting frustrated, but at the same time I was like, I gotta be doing something wrong. Obviously, this game isn't giving me a whole lot to go with, but the idea is, I guess, for it to be that kind of difficulty where, you really gotta use your head and think about, maybe you gotta follow this blood trail this way and start looking at these items first maybe, and then pull out your black light and follow this blood trail that way.
Yeah.
So for me it was difficult to get into, and I played a few missions, and it was very much the same all the way through. You get into the missions where you start running into some enemies, and that's when I started having a real kind of rage moments, because I had a very difficult time aiming my weapon and shooting, the spiders that were coming after you in the one house. And for me, it made it very difficult to kind of keep going with it. So for that, I think if I'm going to have to score this one,
what'd you score?
I think I'm going to have to go with a 5. I think there's a base for a good game there. I've never played a style of game like this, so it was intriguing to me. But then once I realized what the game was all about and what it took to actually play, it seemed very repetitive and very monotonous. And it was and there's this eerie, scary feeling about it. So it kind of keeps you on your toes. But then you're clicking on this picture and that couch, and it's the same thing over and over again. So for me, I'd give it a 5.
I'd say that's fair. Like me, I don't necessarily like a game that kind of holds your hand throughout the tutorials.
Yeah.
But I feel like some more hints would have been better to kind of make me better understand, that and the lack of story. I think for me, I personally scored a 4.
Okay.
But I mean, that's just my opinion.
Fair enough.
Yep.
All right, this is a board game all about looting. All right, Nate, we're talking about Lightfingers, an exclusive on the Nintendo Switch. It is such a cool board game-esque feel with a sense of art direction that I adore. But the whole purpose of the game is to go out as a little thief, loot up these dungeons, take as much as you can, and bring it back to your camp, and have 4 things to loot to win the game. Basic concept, not a basic game.
Yeah, man, I really enjoyed this game. It was so cool.
Oh, yeah, there's no hiding it.
And the people that we interviewed, they were really cool too.
Oh,
or the
Hubert,
guy we interviewed.
Yeah, Hubert was fantastic.
Yeah, man. So I really like Mario Party.
Okay.
But for the last, I'd say, like, I don't even know, since maybe Mario Party 8, I think, is when they kind of,
Sure.
or 9, I don't know, whichever one it was. But I don't know, they just kind of, they lost their touch with me. But man, after playing this, I'm like, all right, this is a sweet board game style, Nintendo game. This is what I've been wanting for years.
It's weird because when you typically think about an actual video game, you're not thinking board game.
No.
But that's when Hubert brings in Lightfingers, him and his team, and I'm like, what do you got here? Well, you take your guys and you go around and you go over here, and then when you roll your dice, and the person with the lowest dice goes first. And then you can get cards. You get, like, it's so deep. It's so cool. You can cast your cards on other players, yourself, on the guards. The minute you get loot, guards pop up. And then they affect the board game.
Yeah.
Or if I run into you and I have loot, and you come in my way, we battle against each other, you can steal my loot. And it's just like, there's so many twists and turns and deception. It is awesome.
Oh, man. I like the little mini games they kind of get in. The dungeons, my goodness, they weren't that easy, at least for me.
I did one dungeon, I died. I did it 3 times. I did not make it once. My girlfriend jumps in, right through it.
I don't know how she did it.
She got 3 things to loot. She already had 1. Took it back to camp and beat me instantly. I was like, come on. Like, I was like, oh, it was over. Because when she finished the dungeon, her next move was right beside the camp.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, okay, like, this was so easy for, oh, man, it was.
As if she got 3, like, that's tough,
It was,
man.
but okay, so let's talk about the dungeons.
Yeah.
Because those are cool, too. You got your little figure, and there's only, I wish there was more figures, like more characters to pick from, right? That's that's probably my biggest gripe with the game. But you take your character through the dungeon, and there's traps set up. So the AI is controlling traps, but if you're playing in a multiplayer, and you're playing and I'm playing, you can control the traps, which is so
You
cool.
can smash off the edge.
Yeah, those things, there's blades spinning, and there's these knives going around and stuff, and then there's this one that it's got a ball with a bunch of spikes, and it just flips back and forth. I was playing my kid. Boom! I just crushed. This game is so addicting. I had a blast with it. I love it.
Oh, man. Yep. Definitely probably one of my favorite Switch games right now. One of my favorites.
Yeah, easily. This is probably one of my go-to Switch games right now.
So, if we're going to wrap this up then.
Yeah, Lightfingers for me. Oh, honestly, I got to give it a 9.5. This is fantastic.
I'm right there with you, man. They get a 9.5. They're a small group. You know, and they're really cool, and the game's friggin' sweet, so.
Yep, can't go wrong with Lightfingers. Randall, we're reviewing a Valve game today.
Yes, we are.
Randall, today, Valve has finally released a game. It's not one we all expected, though, is it?
It was shockingly disappointing.
Artifact. This card game has the MOBA feel that I've kind of been drawn to lately, and the card game, like you enjoy.
Yeah, it's magic.
So this is kind of a good mix, right? I thought, awesome.
Yeah.
Valve thankfully hooked us up with this game.
Thank you.
It was interesting to see how this played out because the tutorial for Valve's Artifact title is short.
Very short.
Well, I think honestly that's one of the biggest problems with the game. Is you have 3 lanes, and a main core you got to protect, and your heroes will go on the board, and your heroes, man, the heroes were lacking for me.
Very lackluster, yeah.
The tutorials where I struggled the most, I still, to this day, the amount of time I've actually put into the game, still don't fully understand the game, because it wasn't presented clear enough as to how you operate with your heroes, then your little minions that'll go down, and you gotta protect the core, but there's 3 different lanes, and how you operate these is you need to have heroes per lane, and you have to match that card color with your deck to go with those heroes. But besides that, how you actually, like, fight the other team or the opposing opponents. Like I struggled with this game a lot.
Yeah, being a seasoned Magic player, like I'm used to the mechanics and the mechanics were in the game, but my biggest advice, as I'm sure was yours, was a tutorial, because if you're teaching somebody how to play, and I'm not trying to sound really nitpicky, but A, don't slaughter them as quickly as you can. That was one thing I ran into.
I got murdered instantly.
Because like I'm laying down creatures and I can't lay down any direct spells of like my opponent, my virtual opponent is laying down where I can actually directly attack your tower. No, I had to go through my minions, and the minions coming out of the box were bigger, had more spells, more power, more toughness. I'm like, how do you expect people to get really into this game when you're slaughtering them right off the get-go? Like, it's a crude comparison, but like with Hearthstone, I found the transition was easier because
I'm a Hearthstone player.
Yeah, and like with me, like being a Magic player, I had some really high hopes for this game, because I'm like, okay, cool, they're kind of following the same format.
It's something different though, right? They're using the Dota 2 heroes in that world and that lore, and then they're implementing it into this Hearthstone Magic-like card game in a MOBA version. Man, this sounds pretty cool, let's be honest, right?
The 3 lanes was definitely something that took me a little bit of getting used to, because I'm used to like directly 1v1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless you're playing Commander and Magic, which you can play up to 5 or 6 players at one time, but it's still 1v1 based on like what's happening in turns. But with this one, I found was just the way that they want you to use your spells and manipulation to help your creatures just wasn't very intuitive at all. I really struggled with it.
I struggled a lot. I found the AI would just, I'd be done in no time. The AI would just crush me instantly. And it just takes you back. I'm like, man, it's hard to have that enjoyment when you're learning a game, when you just feel like you're getting punished the entire time.
It was a joyless husk, I'm not gonna lie.
So, I enjoyed most of the game, except for the AI being so difficult. With the whole premise of the game is to finish off the other core, the other opponent's enemy, take out their enemies, take out the core, but do it twice. And if you do that, you knock them down from 40 to 0, and then it goes back up to 80. And you're like, how do you do that? So I found what I was doing is I was setting my 3 lanes up, but often I'd lose one of my heroes. To the point where I couldn't get a hero back into that lane, and then they would just punish that lane until they'd knock that 80 all the way to 0, and then the game is over. If you get from 80 to 0 on that core, you're done. It's game over.
They did give you a spell where you could take your hero and put them back into the pond, which is where they regenerate. You have the card that does that, but they don't really explain what that card does. So if you're not really sure of how that mechanic works, you're going to be completely lost. Overall, like I think it was a really good attempt to try to get into that sort of like MOBA feel type of game. But I really feel that they should have spent more time looking into it, especially with the AI, because the AI, like I said, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, when you're just being slaughtered, it just takes the joy out of it for me.
Yeah, it really was hard to just get the concept of, I gotta manage. So you're not only managing your deck for one lane, but it's all 3, right?
All 3,
and then, so you can pull out, see the whole deck, see your whole field, and then, okay, this is where I want. But then you got the time limit. You got 15 seconds to figure out what you want to do. So if you're kind of going over here going, I should, 3, 2, I was like, holy crap, boom, and then I'd be dead anyways. It was irritating for a lot of it. Randall, if we're going to sum up what is a pretty game, but honestly frustrating at the same time, what do you give an Artifact?
I'd probably give it about a 4.5.
Will not be
4.5? I'm a little bit higher. I'm there with the 5.5. All right, we are back with another Game On segment. We are playing Schwip. We're gonna play Schwip Ball. This is by Jamhammer Games. This game is awesome. We met the 2 of these guys down in EGLX in Toronto. Nate and I went hands on this. They reached out to us, gave us a code so we can do our Game On segment, and we're gonna have a ton of fun. Right now, standings are at 2 for Corey, 2 for me, 2 for Randall, because Nate is still sitting at 0. Let's keep him there.
Let's not get swept. I do not want to get swept.
Okay.
All right, now we all press A appropriately.
Okay, so I'm red, Corey's blue, Nate is yellow, Randall's green. So let's get started here. We're gonna play Schwip Ball. All right, so the idea is to get this little ball into everybody else's net except for yours, and the minute you touch it, it switches the ball color. Get out of. Oh! Why is everybody around mine? Oh! So Randall just scored. Get in.
I did.
Oh, yes,
Holy crap! Really?
For all of us, thank you.
Oh!
Light 'em up.
No!
Light 'em up.
No! Everybody on here, get out of here! Get in! Yeah! Go, go, go!
Oh, no way.
Yeah, let's hang out over in yellow.
Get out of here.
I
Get
don't
it?
like this.
Where's my tail? Come on.
No.
Oh, yellow score, yellow
you
score,
guys
yours.
launched me.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, I tried to do it. I was a little early.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Come on.
that's it. Get in there. Nope, nope, nope.
No,
Come on, get in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah, there we go.
Took that from
I
me.
stole it. I'll take it.
Get out
Whoa.
of my net.
Oh, God. Oh, thank you for playing
No,
defense.
no.
Oh,
Get
you're
in.
welcome.
Whoa, I fell. Oh, man.
Man, you get so turned around in this
This is,
game.
oh, this is so quick.
This is a good time. I like it.
Oh, green! You greasy.
Greasy. It's a
Get
green
in.
bastard.
Oh, I had it.
Oh, I'm in trouble here. I'm not scoring points.
Come on.
Oh, come on, come on.
Come on, come on.
Get in. Get it. Yes. Woo.
5 seconds left, boys.
Oh, nice
Oh.
defense, man.
Save that one. Oh, come on, come on, come on.
Oh, terrible.
I think we got Randall on this one.
Randall
Randall takes round
all
one.
right.
I'm at 5. Nate, you got 3? Yeah. Corey, that looks like you got 2.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Room for improvement.
All right.
Room for improvement.
What are we doing here? The
First to two.
First to 2? All right, first to 2 wins. Okay, let's get in the second round.
Let's do it.
I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Somebody get rid of Randall. Look at me. I'm way over there.
Nice.
I'm not even on the board.
Get back on the board, bro.
I'm trying.
Okay. Really
Get.
screwed up, to be honest.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Get away from my stuff.
I can't see the other ball.
Dude,
Where did the ball
why
go?
do I keep burning out? Why does my guy just stall out of nowhere?
Oh. Where's my tail? Oh, there it was. Oh, there's a score. Come on, come on.
Oh, come on, get it, get it, get it.
Oh,
I'm at
no.
0.
Randall, go away. Woo!
Oh, Drew.
Right into the other side.
Man, brutal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm getting scored on way too much here.
Oh, no. Woo! Oh. Get in. Get in there. Man.
This is vicious.
Oh, this is brutal. Flippin' love it. Get in. You gotta go, gotta go. No!
Yoink.
How? Randall, really?
Oh, I got launched.
Oh, they both went yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah! Nate's sneaking
Nice.
in there. Oh, come on. No.
Don't, that's
How
goal,
is that a
Randall.
green goal? That's not even fair. I touched that last. Oh, where am I? This is not good.
Oh, no way. How did you get that?
Overtime.
How?
How did I score on my
Who's
own
got this
net?
one?
Oh, I was going to say, that one was a close round.
That was tight. All right. So right now, Randall's got 1. I have 1. You guys are still. Where are you at? All right, let's do
This
this.
is uncharted territory for me. I don't like it.
Oh, Nate scored. 2. Dude, wow.
This guy.
All right, so Nate's getting mad.
All right.
Where's?
What do we got?
God.
Come on.
Nope. Oh, Nate again. Nate's got 3.
Is there a penalty for having someone score a goal on you? No.
No.
I don't think so.
Nope.
Go slow. Damn, it's not
No.
fast enough.
Ooh. Where's the other one? Yeah, right there. Nate, get out of here. Nate, go away, Nate. I see you cherry picking.
Come on, get in there, get it.
Come on. No, my own side. Oh.
I can't see over here.
No, I'm off the board again. Come on.
Where's that
Nate's
ball?
killing it.
Yeah. Oh, where am I?
No.
I'm just struggling.
Corey, where are you?
I'm struggling. I'm just, almost got a point.
Oh.
Oh, man. I'm going to score my own net. Oh, come on, guys.
Come on.
Oh.
Yes.
Come on. Oh, how'd that not go in?
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Oh,
Come on, this
look
is
at Nate.
Oh, boys. Oh, 10.
Oh, I scored myself.
Oh, my goodness. 11. I'll take it.
Oh, so bad.
And now all my goals are going to one round. Don't worry. 12.
Wow.
I got 3.
Wow.
I got 3.
Looks like somebody's on the board, boys.
All right.
All right. That's
So
2
there's
for
3
Nate.
of us with 1 point now.
Don't call it a comeback.
Corey's
Let's
got
go.
0. All right. First to 2 takes this.
Oh, this
Here
has got to
we
be
go.
my
This could be
round.
it.
This has
This
got to
could
be
be
my
it.
round.
Is it?
Oh,
Randall,
off to
2 goals.
That's a rough start for everybody else, man. No, I'm about to score myself.
I'm okay with it.
Whoa. No, no, no. Yeah. Get in, get in. Nope, 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 nope.
I
How?
scored on myself.
Not a boy, Nate. Keep it up. Everybody loves the underdog, right?
Screw you.
Oh, why am I way over here? Come on. Oh, Randall.
Get out of here. Are you kidding me? I keep
No.
scoring on myself. Goodness game.
Oh, look, I keep. Holy! Get me back on the board here. Get.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah!
Randall's
I was timing it.
Oh, yeah? Get in there, get in.
No!
Oh, come on.
I don't even know where I
No,
am.
no, 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 no.
I'm not even. Oh, I'm way outside.
No.
Oh, no way.
Oh, Randall.
Stealing my goals.
Oh, I'm so
Oh,
far
I'm out,
away.
I'm out, I'm out, I'm out.
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. No, no, no.
Oh.
Woo, Stents. Yes.
As if you keep getting that, you're so
Yes.
greasy.
Oh, no.
Greasy.
No, I just scored myself.
Sudden death.
Oh, yeah. Not my game. Not my game.
Drew for
Okay,
the
I
win.
stole that one. All right, so here we go.
I'll say.
This is okay. That was Schwip. This was Schwip Ball by Jamie Hammer Games. A big thanks to them for sending us this.
That was awesome.
That was a
good,
ton of
buddy.
fun.
I
This
lost
is
every
on-
round, and that was fun.
This is on PC, so look for it there. Standings now: Nate still holds 0, Randall at 2, Corey at 2, and I just picked up the win for 3. That is it for Game On. Back to the show. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Drew with Inside the Game. I'm here with Nicholas from Virtual Galaxies, and we're talking about some pretty cool technology. Nicholas, you were just talking to me about it. Why don't you explain what's going on here?
So Virtual Galaxies is a multiplayer free roam VR facility. We're located in Mississauga.
Yeah.
We're opening up at the end of November. So what that is we have a 2,200 square foot VR arena.
That's massive.
It's pretty big. It's 33 feet wide, 66 feet deep. It allows for up to 8 players to play in the same game at the same time in the VR world. So we're taking the booth out of the traditional VR experience,
Yeah.
and we're letting you roam free.
Okay, so how does this technology work? Because that sounds a little overbearing to actually put my head and grasp this concept.
So we're powered by Zero Latency. They're an Australian-based company. They're from Melbourne.
Right.
And they're the global leaders in location-based VR. So this isn't new. This is just the first in Canada, but they're already across the globe. They're in Europe, they're in Asia, they're in the US predominantly. They already have 20 locations there. And now I'm bringing it north of the border. So the technology is actually a customized Alienware component
nice.
that you wear on your back. It powers a customized OS VR headset that's been heavily modified. And you have actually stock Razer headphones with a mic so that you can communicate with the players that you're playing with.
This is insane to actually think about this is possible, because we're so used now to playing just multiplayer games in general. Now to bring that into VR and actually be off the couch.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the greatest thing about this is the actual social aspect of it. VR is one of the coolest mediums, especially in gaming. Unfortunately, it seems quite limited to do socially. You usually take turns and watch each other, or even if you're doing the same game, you're kind of separated in your own little area. This really allows us to mesh the physical and virtual space together, and you get to play with your buddies, with your friends, shooting zombies and robots for up to 45 minutes. It's really something else.
That is cool. So you're 45 minutes per round? Is this how it goes?
So the way that we're structuring it is a session is an hour long.
Okay.
45 minutes of your hour is VR experience.
Yep.
15 minutes we attribute to getting you suited up, suited down, teaching you how your controller works,
Yeah.
and safety instructions so that we keep you safe and you're not running into people.
That is pretty wild.
Yeah.
Now, you were holding on to that gun thing. Where'd
Yeah,
that,
so
let's check that
there's
out.
one right here. This is the actual controller. You can hold it if you'd like.
Yes, I will.
For 3 of the 4 experiences. So we have 4 experiences currently. 3 of them are shooters, so naturally the controller is a gun.
Yeah, of course.
So there's a few buttons you'll see on there. This one right there is to switch weapons depending on the game you're playing. So when you're playing the zombie shooter, it's your AR, your sniper, your shotgun.
Yeah.
When you're playing Singularity, which is our space sci-fi game, then you're going some futuristic plasma guns and rockets and things of that nature.
I feel us inside the game should be doing one of these things. We'll be down here to check you guys out once you're open.
Well, we do corporate events, private events as well, birthday parties, bachelor parties, bachelorette parties as well. That's a thing.
Nice.
Yep. So if anyone wants to come and shoot zombies and robots in a group of their friends, then we're the place to be. Early 2019 competitive experiences will be coming into play, so you'll be able to not just shoot zombies and AI, but your actual friends.
So, okay, so now you're getting in the world of esports.
Yes, esports is coming.
That's intense.
Yeah,
this is fantastic.
We'll have leagues set up, and then as we move beyond local competitive gaming, we'll actually be able to pit 8 versus 8. You'll play against people in Boston or New York or something like that. Yeah.
That was fantastic. Nicholas, where do we find you?
You can find us at 2301 Royal Windsor Drive in Mississauga. We're just south of the QE off of Winston Churchill.
Awesome. And the website?
virtualgalaxies.com. It has all our info there. We're also doing some giveaways on our social media, so if you just follow us, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, we're giving away free sessions to followers. Yeah.
Nicholas, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Back to the show.
All right, this week we're falling into an enchanted world with lost socks. All right, Drew, so this week we were talking about Forgotten Anne.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Okay, so this is right up your alley. Let's be
Oh,
honest,
totally.
right?
I'm a huge anime and manga fan, and like playing the game was like watching like a manga on TV. It was just incredible.
The art direction and style that they took with the game was beautiful.
It was like watching like a Shiro Masamune title. Like it was just amazing.
It was so smooth and fluid, and the lighting in the game was like, I just don't know how else to describe it. I've never seen such an anime presented to me personally on something like this on the Switch. It was just sitting there chilling out in handheld mode, which I love to play. Isn't it in handheld mode? And you just zone out with everything, and you follow this incredible story.
It is, and it's an interactive 2D side scroller. But what was really cool for me was there are points on the map where you actually have to like walk further into the distance or come back and keep going in a direction. It's like I've never seen something like that on a 2D side scroller before.
Well, it gives you that sense of depth that
right?
doesn't, you don't, just by looking at it, you don't see it's actually there until you're presented with the option of, oh man, you know what, if I follow this set of ladders, I can go up this way, and then I go deeper, and then I gotta go up and over, and then back down, and then come back up again.
Yeah.
Then I gotta go up the crate and stuff. Oh, it was awesome.
And the story, even though it's a little bit on the weird side, which is very typical of anime, which is a very fair point, was incredible. Like, let's be honest, like you play this girl who's in this fantasy world who sounds like a song title actually, or like lyrics, but anyway. You're surrounded by all these like forgotten objects, like people who have just like discarded like socks or like a shoe, and you actually interact with all these different like little like NPCs in the game. But the way that they've done it is just it's incredible.
Well, the socks, they come to life, right?
They do.
So they come into this other world that Anne is in. So she's not a part of the actual real world.
No.
Right?
No.
So everything comes to this forgotten world. And that's when all these objects suddenly just spring into action, and they're so well animated and so fluid. Honestly, it kind of feels like that Disney touch to it, right? Like the
It
old
really
school
does,
Disney, that
yeah.
old school Mickey. And the way the sock is sitting there. Okay, I gotta be honest, man. When this sock started talking to me, I was like, what
is this?
Playing? But then I actually played the game, and it was just like, okay, that sock was really cool. I'm not an anime fan.
No.
But I knew you were, so when we got this, I thought,
it.
okay, Randall's gotta play this.
I had to buy
wanna
a
see
Switch
what-
just to play more of this.
Forgotten Anne is phenomenal,
It
and
really
this is not coming from an anime guy at all.
Yeah, it's
it hits all the marks. Like if you've ever watched any anime or manga, it really hits all the marks from the art direction to the way that the characters interact, to the silly facial expressions, to the way that the NPCs interact with the character. Like the song just pops up and you're just like, what is this? But like if you're like me, you're like, okay, this is anime, yeah, like I'm expecting this. But like for something like this guy, he's like, what is going on? Like,
well, that was just it, right? Because like I said, I'm not the anime guy, but when I'm actually playing the game, I forget that it's an anime and I'm just living the story. Yeah. It was so wonderfully flushed out. It was awesome. It was phenomenal.
And that's what anime does to you. You get sucked into this whole other world. And for me, this game sits in a category on its own because I've never seen a game that has this particular art direction before, ever.
Yeah, see, okay, now we're talking about my world. Because I love art and how games are presented. Mm-hmm. And this is so unique to anything else I've ever played. Yeah. The art direction was probably one of the best I've ever seen on the Switch.
I would have to agree, yeah. From everything that I've seen, it was just, even just like the initial preview I got on YouTube, I was like, wow, I've got to try this thing. Like, it looks incredible.
Yeah, the game is so well projected to everybody, and to bring in a bigger audience like myself all of a sudden too, to pay attention. If you are even kind of thinking about Forgotten Land, you need to play it. Like, don't think about it, go buy it.
You really do. Like, everything, art, storyline, gameplay, and the gameplay is so intuitive. Like, I didn't have any issues with trying to figure out what it is I had to do. And the way that the tutorial goes as you play, I'm personally a fan because it doesn't feel like they're holding your hand.
Yeah.
They just feel like they're giving you soft tips, like, hey, this is what you would do. Like, when I got the wings to jump on, it was really cool. I was like, wow. But it still followed the anime style. Like, when you watch the progression from how she jumps to grabbing onto something,
yes,
you would totally see that in any other anime movie. Like, it was awesome.
So when it comes to tutorials, a lot of them can be handheld, right? Or just not there at all.
Yeah.
But if it's done correctly, you do the tutorial with almost not even realizing that's what you're doing. And that's kind of how
that was this game.
Was presented here. It was phenomenal. Randall, if we're going to wrap up Forgotten Land, what are you going to give this score for?
I'm going to give it a 10.
Wow, you got you that good, eh?
Yeah.
Man, okay, I'm just a little bit below you, but I'm there with a 9. Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Drew with Inside the Game, and I am here with Steven from Vertex VR. Steven, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, not a problem. Thanks for having me.
So we were at the Game On event here in Barrie. Obviously you guys are dealing with VR. What brought you into the world of VR?
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. We had an idea of starting a means for people to get into VR without having the need to purchase expensive equipment, right?
Sure.
I think that's a big barrier for people to get into it, is buying the headset, finding room for sensors, play area, like having to lug your couch out every single time to play it, and not only that, but like because we use Vives, you need a high-end gaming PC, and the average person is not going to be able to get that or get into it and afford it, right?
No.
So we wanted a means to like democratize the use of virtual reality for people without going to like cell phone, like Gear VR, sort of things, right? Which I think misconceives VR for people, because that sort of VR is very limited in what it can do, and people will maybe watch like a 3D movie or something on it.
Yeah.
And it's or very minimal games, and they're not truly experiencing what the capabilities are of VR currently today. So right now it's a means of getting people in at very low cost for them just to try virtual reality. A lot of people hear about it, but they don't know about it.
So how do you explain to someone who hasn't played VR what that experience is like? How do you get that point across?
I think that's the most challenging thing, right? Because like you can't really explain it, right? It's like it's like there's depth, but you can't describe that in a typical sense. So ultimately, it's a thing that you have to kind of put the headset on and see it for yourself to kind of get it. And I think when most people, we do get a lot of people that have never done VR before, and they come, like even here today, there's a lot of people like, this is my first time doing VR, right? Yeah. And they put it on, the first thing they're like, whoa, because they see the depth in it. It's a little bit different than what a 3D movie does, right? So. And then once you get the controllers in your hand and you see that, oh, okay, like when I'm moving this, it's reacting to me. When I take a step, it's moving with me. And I think when all those things are combined, it's a completely new experience for somebody. And that's a really hard thing to describe without going down like a bullet list of, it's this plus this plus this. Yeah. So it's again hard to explain. So we always like people just to come in and just try it firsthand for themselves to see what VR
Where
is
do people
like.
find you?
So right now we're in the Georgia Mall. You'll find us on the lower level across from the Dairy Queen and the tea shop. We have a lounge set up there, and we have a bunch of booths and equipment.
Right.
You can come in for various amounts of time, and you have the booth to yourself, or you can even do multiple booths, and we have multiplayer games set up, which I think is a really, we get groups coming in doing like Arizona Sunshine 4-player co-op and stuff like that. I think it's super cool.
So do you have just the HTC Vive? Is that what you guys are exclusive with, or you got Oculus? You have PlayStation VR, any other headsets?
We solely focus on HTC Vive. That's our big thing. We felt that was going to be the best experience for our customers.
Yep.
And in terms of just content availability and kind of the services and stuff that we were using, Vive was the best bet for us to go with.
Have you tried the other headsets?
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, at least myself personally, I've used so many that are on the market, from Oculus PSVR, from anything from Google, Samsung, even from oddities from overseas. There are so many variable headsets that we have tried out, but the only one I haven't tried is that Pixma 8K headset that
it's the greatest kind of thing, right?
Yeah, they're just doing a Kickstarter for that and stuff. So that's the one I haven't tried yet, but most of them I've given it a shot with.
Now, I find the biggest thing with VR is, and people are, I think, worried a little bit, is the motion sickness.
Yes.
Is there a lot of that? Because there is on the PlayStation VR that I experience.
So that's something that we always warn our customers about for the first time. Like, have you done VR before?
Yep.
If you haven't, then these are things to like watch out for. We always have procedures for like, if you feel like you're going to get sick, take the heads off immediately. Never push yourself.
Right.
I don't think we've ever had a case of sickness so far. No. When we start getting to maybe like specialty equipment, because we have like motion simulators and stuff, and that's a finicky situation, right? Because you have to make sure that people are like, are you good with rides, right? Because if you're not good with rides, then
stay away.
Yeah, disjointed motion like that might make you sick. But for the most part, I think it also comes down to the experiences that we pick as well, because you don't want anything that's crazy fast motion or anything that, unless you're very used to VR, like if you're a daily driver of VR, then sure, like a zero type game is probably not going to be an issue. But and for someone that's brand new, that's like max level, like you're throwing them in the deep end. So we always try to make sure that if they're starting off in VR, we find the appropriate game that is like easing them into it. So they don't get into a bad experience right off the bat. And it's like with a 3D movie, the first time you put it on, your eyes are adjusting, you're getting used to it. It's not for everybody. There's always going to be people that just can't straight up do it. That's how their biology is. But we do our best to kind of make sure that everyone is cool and comfortable with hopping into it.
How many games do you guys provide for people to play?
So right now we offer 40 different games available.
Really?
We could do a lot more than that, but we like to kind of tailor our experience. We don't want to have a pile of games these are really rough experimental games or anything like that. We want to filter out, like, if you're coming here, there's an immediate list of very high quality games that you can pick from that you know you're going to have a good time with. And you're not sitting there all day wasting time sifting through piles and piles and piles of games. So, and we also do our best to make sure we have like the lasers. Like today we're demonstrating Beat Saber, which is like the most popular game that we have right now. Yeah, you were in it earlier.
I was in it earlier.
You're doing awesome on it.
Thanks.
And that's the thing. Like people come in sometimes just for one game. They'll come in for Beat Saber, or they'll come in for Job Simulator. They have their go-to, right? So, but we like to make sure that we have those games as soon as we possibly can. So
perfect. Steven, thank you so much for your time.
Not a problem.
Where can people find you?
So you can find us online at vertex-vr.ca. If you want to come in person, we're in the Georgia Mall currently, and you can either book online for your session, or if we're open, feel free to walk in and we'll find a space for you.
Excellent. Thanks a lot.
All right, Drew, let's shoot some hoops and play some tennis. All right, Drew, so we got hands-on with Sports Party from Ubisoft, which huge shout out to Ubisoft for giving us a lot of games. They've been just fantastic, man.
Yeah, they've been really good to us, right? So when they gave us Sports Party, I kind of took this one and thought, Let's see what we got to get our hands on here. This isn't really what we've been reviewing a lot for Ubisoft especially. But this one is, in the title, man, Sports Party. It is an absolute party game.
Yeah.
With my kids.
Yeah, it's not really. Yeah. It kind of takes me back to Wii Sports.
It is basically the Wii Sports of the Switch.
Yeah,
it's kind of how I feel
an update. Right? It's Wii Sports 2.0.
Yeah, right. It's obviously it's prettier. It looks nicer. The more characters. They're honestly, you know what? The characters. They're every time I finish an event, there's an unlock, and I really appreciate the fact that there was some kind of reward system that I felt honestly I was getting something every time I did a sport event. There are 6 events in the game. Like, but they're so cheesy. That's
some of them are questionable. Not questionable, but just.
I played a lot of the basketball one.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that.
Yeah.
What did you play mostly? The 3-point or the full?
No, the full. The full. Yeah, the 3-point. You can. Man, it's hard to miss a shot.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's really it's a party game at its best.
Yeah, it's a good game to play with your kids.
Yeah.
So we got jet ski, we got basketball, we got golf, we got tennis.
We got skateboarding.
Thank you. I'm drawing blank.
Right? Yeah, so the events are pretty basic. They don't take long to finish, so you can get in, goof around, have a good time, and then bail out and move on to the next one. So you're always kind of into one and out and back into something else, so you're kind of always flipping in and out again, right? I wish there was something a little bit more deeper.
Yeah.
Then I did the jet ski, and the jet ski I didn't really care for.
Yeah, it was pretty...
Like everybody, the minute you think jet ski, my head goes to Wave Race.
Yeah.
Right? Like instantly, it's a Nintendo. So if I'm gonna play a jet ski game on the Switch, hello Wave Race, where are you? This wasn't it. I was kind of hoping it would be a little bit, right? It really wasn't. The Frisbee one, I had a good time with that. You use the Joy-Cons when you're playing. That's the whole point of this, is really use Joy-Cons and use the motion. You don't have to use the motion.
I like that because, you know, if I'm laying in bed next to my girlfriend while she's going to sleep, boom!
Oops, sorry.
For that exact reason.
Yeah. No, that's cool. It gave you both options, which was a neat idea. I like that. I can appreciate that. But I do like the motion. And my youngest, too, right? He's shaking his wand. He's doing whatever with the Joy-Cons and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah, man. One thing I was kind of a bit disappointed with, some of the game types I understand why it wouldn't be so, but when you're just using the handheld, you can't take off the Joy-Cons and then mean you play a game. Like golf, for instance, that's an easy one that they could have very easily, very easily, you know, just use one Joy-Con we could both play with. You know what I mean? Or even just one. You could just take turns, hot seat it. But they wouldn't let you do more than one player when you're just using the handheld.
Yeah, I don't know why they would do that, right? You had to be in that docked TV mode in order to do that, which seemed a bit odd to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, you know, it's not game breaking by any stretch, but it would have been just a nice feature for
it's a lacking feature, right? They kind of would have set it up a little bit higher.
Yeah. Like most games, they have 3 different difficulty settings. They got easy, medium, and hard. But let's get real now. How hard was hard?
Hard was not hard at all. Hard was easy, honestly. It was the easy. This goes back to that family aspect of the game, though, right?
Yeah.
Easy is super, super easy. It should have had like super, super, or very, very easy. You know what you get
beginner.
Well, yeah, right. Or hard. Honestly, hard. It felt like normal, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't find it difficult at all. This game is not a difficult game. You are there to win and have fun.
Yeah, it's really there to play with your friends or your kids.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're gonna rate Sports Party, what are you giving this from Ubisoft?
I think it's good to get a 7, man. It's just it's a straight up game. It's a good family game. It's good.
Yeah, it's a solid game, right? It's a solid party game. So yeah, I'm right there with you with a 7. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Drew with InsideTheGame.ca, and today I just checked out a game called Schwip. Gentlemen, who are you guys and what are you guys playing today?
Cool. My name is Robert Bava.
I'm John Paul Welsh.
And we are Jamhammer Games. This is our game Schwip. It's a top-down twin-stick shooter. Not unlike any other twin-stick shooter, but we take the weapons and abilities up to the max. So based off Geometry Wars, one of our favorite games, we give you mines, we give you magnets, we give you missiles, we give you absolutely everything at your disposal to survive for 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Now, I play one particular game mode. Is there multiple different game modes for this, or is it?
There are, yeah. We played, the one you're talking about was like a party mode. It's kind of like air hockey.
Oh, that's addictive.
Yeah,
that's very addictive.
That's not the typical like twin stick action. It's more like But like I said, air hockey, you got 4 different goals, try to score it on the time limit. Then the other one, arcade, is just a 3-minute score run, multipliers and high scores.
Okay. We have one more. It's called Minefield. It's an active romp through an active minefield, and you just have to get checkpoints and be sure you don't die within the time limit. And all the modes are available local and multiplayer. So
is the game out yet?
We will be on early access as of the end of this weekend, so October 29th or whatever day it is today.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And, like with a price point of $10 on Steam.
Wow,
so,
that's it. Eh?
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
There's just the 2 of you making this?
Just the 2 of us. Yeah.
We are Jamhammer.
Yeah, friends for over 25 years, just getting together and making some great games. I'm the designer on the project, and JP is the coder.
Nice. Yeah. So how long have you guys been making this game?
We started maybe like 5 years ago or something, and
so it's been a while.
Yeah, part-time effort.
Yeah. Now you guys are going full time?
We'd hope to be.
Hope to be once this coming to any other consoles, or is it just Steam only?
It'll be Steam first, and then we got Xbox One coming out a couple months after. And plan for whatever we can after that.
Being an indie dev, it's kind of hard to get dev kits, so we would like to get on Switch eventually too.
Yeah, okay.
But a lot of folks here want to play on PlayStation, so hopefully that's up there next.
Yeah, maybe we can see what we can do about that, eh? That'd be a great platform.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we're at EGLX. You guys been here all weekend. What do you guys think of the show here?
It's great. It's a huge place.
You guys are local, right here in Toronto?
Yeah, we're from Toronto, not far from here.
That's just about 20 minutes from here, so it's
nice and easy then.
Yeah,
right?
pretty easy. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So where can we find your game?
You can find us if you search for Jamhammer or search for Schwip. They're pretty unique names, so they'll come up as first Google search results, or just hit up on our website or any social media network.
That's fantastic.
On Steam and soon to be the Xbox page. So
that's awesome. I personally checked out this game. This is awesome. Me and Nate went on 2 rounds. I took just one, but it was enough that I was hooked already. Guys, fantastic game. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for playing.
Thank you.
Nate, we're checking out a city builder on the Switch. Nate, we're checking out Townsmen by Handy Games. This is a medieval city builder on the Nintendo Switch. What'd you think?
It was fun. It wasn't not a lot of depth to the game.
No.
But it's very basic. You gotta manage your resources. Collect wood, and then you gotta manufacture the wood or your grain and turn it into bread or into flour and then into bread.
Yeah.
Make sure all your villagers are happy. I don't know. It was a fun game. It looks all right too. Graphically, it's basic, but
yeah. The biggest problem for me, there wasn't a lot of pop to the game. It is basic. It is a city builder at its base game, right?
Yeah.
So you basically run this castle and then the village below it, right? So you have to keep everybody happy. You have to gather, like you said, all those resources and stuff and manage and then upgrade. So you gotta produce your wood better. You got the logger that will go out, he'll cut down the trees and he'll go manage all that. And then you got your hunter and he'll go out and hunt down for the deer and stuff. And then it's just basically growing your castle and making sure you're trying to please everybody all at once. So yeah, there was it lacked a lot of polish for me when you're talking about something like Banished or even SimCity, right?
Yeah.
You know what you're getting into and you know your direction. For me, for a lot of the time, I just didn't have a sense of direction.
all right. Let's wrap this up, man. What are you gonna give Townsmen?
Townsmen on the Switch for me is getting a 6.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Seems to be the trend this episode.
Sure does.
So I'm a 6.
Nice. All right, Nate. This one is Trine is made its way to the Nintendo Switch. All right, Nate, Trine is making its way to the Nintendo Switch. This is a series I have followed for a very long time, played all 3 of them. This is the first Trine, this is the Enchanted Edition. What do you think about it on the handheld system for the Switch?
I really like it. I think it was a really good port over from previous consoles to the Switch. I think it was a really smart move.
Yeah.
And yeah, graphically it looks great like the other ones did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what do you think about it?
Well, it's always been a pretty game, right? So to bring it to the Switch, obviously it's not going to have the horsepower of the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox, but if you're playing in handheld mode, that thing is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's what I honestly played it with when I was
That's
playing
how I play a lot of my Nintendo Switch games. And I honestly feel that Trine is a great fit for it because you're able to jump in, play it for 10 minutes, or if you got the time, an hour. Next thing you know, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I got a couple minutes to spare. Boom, an hour goes by, I'm still on Trine. I'm like, I gotta go.
Oh, it's a sweet game, man. I really like the puzzles that they throw in there and the having to use all 3 different characters.
I love the characters. You got Zoya, who's the thief, right? That's my go-to girl right there. Poitius, then you got the knight, and then you got Amadeus, who's the wizard guy. And when you combine all 3 abilities and their talents together to solve the puzzles, it's just a great fit.
And that brings us to multiplayer. They have co-op, which the other ones did too, but what a great co-op game, man.
Well, especially on the Switch, because if you got a buddy who's got a Switch and you're just side by side, you just connect it and away you go.
It's so cool, man. All right, so let's talk about the story, because Trine's been known to have a really good story, and I personally really liked it.
Yeah, the story is basically that the fact that you're after the Trine, and you're using the 3 heroes to bring back the Trine. They all kind of captivate around it, and it disappears and is off to vanish, and you have to go and use the 3 heroes and their abilities to bring it back and retrieve it. It's pretty basic, but as it's told as a narrative story, and that's what captivates the whole game within the Trine series. It's always been so well done with this third-person perspective of listening to the narrator explain, and it kind of opens up into like a storybook, right? And then it flips through the pages and stuff. It's just fantastic. I love the story.
Yeah, man.
So if you have played Trine, you kind of know what you're getting your hands on here, right? It is more of the same, but it's that feel and the ability to take it on the go that I kind of really appreciated.
Yeah, man. I love the handheld feature that this Switch has brought, man. Yeah. There's just so many games. Like you said, you're like, oh, I got 10 minutes. You can just quickly rip a little bit of Trine or an hour's worth.
Well, exactly, right? Trine is a series that I've always wanted to take with me and stuff, but it's always been grounded to a console. Now with the ability to kind of pick up and go, it's just such one of those things I love about the Switch, and Trine is a great fit for it. I can't recommend Trine enough on the Nintendo Switch. If you're going to score this, what are you scoring the Trine Enchanted Edition?
It's going to get an 8, man. Honestly, I'm going high with this one.
Yeah,
I think it deserves it, man.
I think you're right there. I'm going with an 8 as well. It's a fantastic game on the Switch. All right, Nate, another week, another episode in the books, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Each and every week, you guys reach out to us with one of your highlighted clips. Nate, who do we have this week?
This week, we got Motive Money with a sick game-finishing kill in Rainbow Six.
That's awesome. Let's check it out.
One friendly operator remaining. Friendly's victorious. Hostiles eliminated.